Well, we were just down in Key West this past weekend. We got some local smokes in Key West as well.
Nice.
Yeah, they're not going to be as good as this.
No. No. Local's best.
Past the fire, past the sounds. Moonshine through the clouds. Saddle up, 'cause there's no stopping me now.
Good day. And welcome. Can we start?
Yes, go
All
right
we're
ahead.
starting.
Yep.
Here we go.
To another episode of Living Well Together, Big Life in a Small Town. And
And
you
we
like
got
to
small town
Yes.
repping today. This is going to be awesome.
it's an exciting
So-
episode. You have totally been looking forward to this ever since you sent in
I
your
love it.
intake forms. He's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for Megan.
Well, I don't invite everybody, but we happen to be in her establishment, and I'm thinking, this is a great story. You've got a great story.
Thank you.
And how do we not highlight it on our show? I mean, why would it would be criminal to not do
So
that.
why don't you introduce this fine lady?
Megan Simpson, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our
From
next
Springfield,
guest.
Ohio.
That's right. That's where I grew up.
But, well, let's just start,
Yeah.
from growing up Springfieldish.
Sure.
Yep. And go.
So I did grow up in Springfield. We started downtown. We were right in the center of town and ended up moving out into the county. So that's what took me to the county school because I was Catholic schools.
Got it.
No comments. However,
I don't have a ruler.
public
Me either.
schools, public schools, I really thrived there. Graduated from Shawnee High School in 1995. Talked to my dad.
1995.
I know.
I think I have sweaters that are older than that.
That's okay. I have another comment about that, but we'll get there. So I used to tell lieutenants I have socks with more time in service than they do.
There you go. Yeah.
So I get it. But so after graduation, I talked my dad into enlisting me into the Army National Guard. He was a recruiter for years, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, so your dad talked you into it. No, I had to talk him into it. He wasn't going to
Really?
do it.
He wasn't gonna
not.
let you?
No, was not. And I'm like, Dad, how are we paying for school? Because we made enough money to not qualify for a lot of things, but not enough money that college wasn't going to be an issue. And he's like, okay, good point.
Yeah.
Good point. So enlisted. I was 17 when I enlisted. My dad handed me my first cigar.
Oh.
So
Like
that was
when you enlisted,
yeah,
he
that
gave
was
you
a
your first cigar?
celebratory cigar. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And I honestly cannot remember what it was. It was just in the moment,
that
right? Like it was just that moment. To be honest, it was probably like a Romeo and Juliet or like a Monte Cristo, you know, those type of things. But yeah, so that's what got me kind of into the love of cigars. He smoked a lot. My grandfather smoked a pipe. So just being around that ambiance and that smokiness and
See, they don't
all
know
of that.
yet. They don't know
Yeah.
the cigar portion.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
this is
So
what do they
now
call
the
this?
cat is out of the
Foreshadowing.
bag.
yeah.
And
Oh, sorry.
so- no, that's cool.
Sorry, but that's what got me
no,
into the love. But
Yeah.
then I spent 26 years in the Army National Guard. 20 of it was full time.
Okay.
So I did retire in 2020 with full retirement, full benefits. So 2020 came and went. Tried my first big girl job, hated it. Tried another one. Corporate America is not my
It's not for
place.
everybody.
It is not.
It's not for everybody.
So hats off to those of you that have survived that world.
Yeah.
And then, so I had to do something about that.
Give us a day in the life of a recruiter, though. 26 years. I
Yeah.
mean, you got stories.
So
out
you were
there.
a recruiter.
I did become a recruiter also,
Oh my gosh,
yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I started off in the admin world,
Yeah.
got picked up full time as a recruiter.
Okay.
And technically, I think I did like 12 plus years there because I was like a part-time helper for somebody for a long time. And then I got picked up as a full-time. It was fun. I loved it. I didn't have any kids at the time.
Yeah.
Long hours, early mornings, heading to Columbus for MEPS for somebody that you had on the floor that day,
MEPS.
Yeah.
hoping
What's
that they
MEPS?
get in.
You got to remember, you're
So-
talking to some civilians here.
So MEPS is the military entrance processing station. So regardless of what branch you are with, you go to the MEPS.
Got it.
And that's where you do all your medical, everything. And then you end up getting sworn in at the end of the day as long as you passed everything.
Okay.
So, but it was fun. I had a ton of schools. You know, I had the Eaton area. I started in Medina. I had
That's way
Springfield for a little while, so I was in my dad's old office, which was
wow.
really cool.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
cool.
I was kind of all over Ohio.
So is it your job as a recruiter to go find kids, young people, and say, this could be a good career for you?
Yes. So we are assigned a certain school, like district or a certain number of high schools, and those are yours. Like no other Army National Guard recruiter can poach that school.
Yeah.
The schools are protected.
All right.
So as far as prior service guys go or whatever, if somebody calls you, regardless if they live in a different area, you can help them out.
Okay.
But yeah, that was our thing, is finding kids that would make a good fit. And there were some kids I told him, I don't think this is for you. Like you might want to think active duty. Like,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the Guard really pushed education, continued education, college, trade schools, things like that. And there were some kids that just didn't want to do that yet. So I would introduce them to the active duty recruiter, get them in, do a 3-year contract, and then come back to the Guard and go to school and have it paid for.
Oh, that's
Okay.
perfect.
So, yeah.
Huh. That's so interesting. We just know virtually nothing about it.
It's odd because we know a lot of people who are connected.
Tons
to it,
of people,
but-
yeah.
And we live in a town with a base,
Yeah.
Yeah.
an air base. And
Yeah.
so you would think
It's
that we
such a
would have a
big
better
part of that
understanding of the plan,
foundation.
but we don't. And that's not good or bad. It's just,
Yeah.
I think of it
You
like,
don't know what you don't know.
we're all ignorant.
and
We're
that's
just ignorant about different
Yeah.
things.
And there's so
100%.
so many rules and regulations too that go along with it.
Yeah.
But it's so cool that I just love that your dad did it right before you
Oh, yeah.
did. Yeah. It's very interesting. I love that generational.
Yeah.
So when you say no to somebody, why would you say no? Well, let's say what would get me kicked out of MEPS, or how do I not pass MEPS?
There are certain medical conditions that you have that, we ask a ton of those questions ahead of time to weed them out really, or, and say, I don't think you're going to pass the medical portion,
Yeah.
or even sometimes the academic portion. They have to take the ASVAB, which, tells them kind of what jobs they would be good at. But they have to get a certain overall score on that ASVAB before they
And
can.
so you went through everything you're going to introduce them to.
Sure.
Yourself.
Yes.
So,
So
you
you-
were a guided tour for
Yeah,
like, here's
for
how
sure.
this is going to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 26 years went by.
It did. It flew by, and in the moment, it was like, "Oh my gosh, this has been forever." But then, here I am, almost 5 years removed, and I'm like, "It went so fast."
Mm-hmm.
It
Did
went
you
so
travel?
fast. I did a little. So I had 2 deployments. One was overseas
Okay.
in Kuwait,
Okay.
where I met my current husband.
Oh, wow.
And the other one was in DC, and it was considered a deployment. We were there for almost a year.
Oh, wow.
And I was with the Air Defense Artillery
Okay.
out of Cincinnati, the 1174. And so what the ADAs, what they do there in DC is it's all making sure another 9/11 doesn't happen. Like
Got
they
it.
monitor all the airspace and stuff.
So
like
even
that.
though you're on the terra firma of the USA, DC is not considered USA?
No, it is. It
It's
was
a
just
deployment.
considered a deployment
Okay.
because of I think the amount of time that we were there and what we were actually doing. I call it a mobilization because we were so close to home.
Right.
And I did get to see my family, like they would drive over for spring break or whatever. So I
so nice.
still got to see them, which
Yeah.
was great. But
Yeah, they couldn't have done that in Kuwait.
they did not. No.
How long were you in Kuwait?
I was gone total a year.
Okay.
And that was rough. The kids were like 2 and 4, I think, when I left.
Yeah.
And they don't remember much of it.
Yeah.
Because we had the iPads and a lot of FaceTime, and they just remember I was gone for long Army training.
Okay.
Yeah.
So cute.
Let's
Can we talk about your kids for a minute?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And so they were 4 and 2 during that time, but how old are they now?
They are 15 and 17. Yeah. So they both go to Greenon. Isabella's a sophomore, killer volleyball player.
Oh, wow.
She plays
Yeah.
for the club team down the road, Dayton Juniors.
Okay.
So we're all over with this girl. When I say all over, I'm talking Kentucky, Michigan, Pittsburgh. We're going to
So you
Orlando
don't have
in
to be
June.
rich to be a volleyball parent, but it does help.
You got to be in debt. You're in debt to be a volleyball
I
player.
get it. We've got some of the practice. I totally hear you.
Yeah. So
And you don't think about it. It's like they have shin guards, elbow pads.
volleyball is just
and-
the knees.
Just the knees.
Yeah.
Okay, so nothing on their elbows.
No.
And then a ball.
Cards for volleyball.
Yeah.
Well, they're not shin.
so
well,
good.
they're knee. Okay, yeah. Did I say
Yeah.
shin? I'm
Your
sorry.
athletic
I was
prowess
thinking-
is showing again.
Yeah. Yay, sports ball.
Yeah.
And then it's a white ball, right?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, so I mean, we're all over with her. And then Lincoln, he's a senior at Greenon. But he's actually at Wright State full time because he kind of
Amazing.
got all of his high school stuff done at the end of last year. So he'll have like 50 credit hours by the time he graduates.
That
high
is
school.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
Anybody
So he
following
must have a
in mom and
plan.
dad's footsteps?
absolutely not.
Okay.
No,
Because you said don't? Or
no,
because
I
it's
did
just
not.
on there
They're
yet?
just not on their thing. You know, Lincoln kind of picked up my my love of bodybuilding and nutrition and things like that. But yeah, I mean, work wise, I don't see him ever. He said it's his backup to his backup, which is fine.
Back up to his back.
What's
Yeah.
his A plan?
He is already declared, I believe, psychology.
Okay.
And I think he wants to do like a criminal psychology, kind of like, what is it? That show, Criminal Minds, like the BAU.
Okay.
Like I really see him landing somewhere like that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Just for his passion for it. And
He will
he's
never lack for work.
he's so smart.
kidding,
I
yeah.
mean, they both are. Both,
Yeah.
you know, it's crazy.
Nice.
They did not get that from me.
I
Got it
don't.
somewhere.
They got their
Second.
social skills from me, yes, but not there.
And so we're done with the military. We didn't like corporate stuff.
Yeah.
Tell us about your bodybuilding thing, though. You mentioned that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your love of fitness and training started when you were in the service?
It did. So we always had to be on top of our game in the Army. You know, we took PT tests twice a year. And as women, as we get older, it doesn't get easier. It gets harder. And it's not fair. Some of the things that we go through,
Yeah.
it's not fair. So when I came back from Kuwait, I was having a difficult transition being back home after missing the kids for so long. Like just a little snapshot, prime example. The kids are home. I literally get home like at noon. You know, we have a welcome home ceremony. Everybody comes over to the house for food, and then everybody leaves, right? The whole family leaves. So it's just me, Lincoln, and Bella. And I'm like, well, what do you guys want to do? And they're like, I don't know. And Lincoln, you know, he's looking around. He goes, Mom, we don't have any groceries. I'm like, no, because the house has been empty for a year. I'm like, you know what? Let's go to the store.
Yeah.
Let's go get fat snacks and
Yep.
stuff for dinners. And he's like, okay. So we're pushing the buggy through the store, right? We're going around. And I'm like, oh, what about these? What about these? What about these? And he goes, Mom, we don't eat those anymore. We don't like that anymore.
Because
They're a year, you know, older.
They're older now.
And it's, you know, they don't want
Yeah.
go-go squeezes, which is funny because now they want them again.
Yes.
But,
Yes. Yes.
you know, they don't want this cereal. They don't want, and I was like, okay. I said, I tell you what, we're just going to cruise the store. You tell me what
Yes.
you want. And you know what he said? I want ribs. I'm like, son, I don't even know how to cook ribs. Like, I don't. And he's like, you can call Dad. Dad cooks them. I'm like, you know what? I'll do that. I'll call your dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some ribs. So that was a difficult transition. And I could either, and to be honest, I could either spend my free time at the bar, you know, coping,
Yeah.
or I could try this bodybuilding thing because a friend of mine had mentioned it to me, like, hey, I think you'd be really good. And I'm like, okay, you know, and I thought, well, I know I can already kill it at the bar. Like, I know I'm really good at that. Like, I really am. Like, no need for any more trophies. And I'm like, let's try the gym.
Okay.
And so that's what I did. And I started competing in 2014, the year I got back.
Okay.
And I went pro in 18.
Okay. Because that's a process too.
it
you don't
is.
you don't just get a pro card. You got to earn a
Right.
pro card.
Yeah. I'm IFBB pro in 18, did my pro debuts in 19, and then COVID hit. Right. So it kind of shut everything down for a little while. So
Actually, I
did it.
remember that because COVID, they shut down the Arnold that year for
Yes.
the first time in
That was
30 years.
2020, wasn't it?
2020, yeah.
Because I was
it
supposed
right before.
I was supposed to work that booth
Okay.
with a supplement company. They had asked me to help them at their booth, which was a huge deal for me. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe
Amen.
it.
Yep.
So that got canceled, right? So then 2021 was the last time I ever competed. I had 2 shows in 2021. And so not sure if we'll do it again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the whole
It's a discipline that is not like many other things.
100%. Like it's another job.
Well, that and when you look at the way just that whole industry has changed since like when the Arnold came to Columbus. This was in the 90s, And Pete,
When you were going to Gold's Gym and all
well,
that
I used to pay attention.
He wasn't a pro, but
on
yeah.
never
Get
on a
some good
competitive
muscles.
level. But Pete and I went to one of the first Arnold's because as chiropractors, the International Chiropractic Association was one of the sponsors for the Arnold's. So as members of the ICA, we had access to passes and you get your picture with Arnold and you go to the dinner afterwards and all
That's
that kind of
cool.
stuff.
So Pete
but back
Costantino?
then, yes.
Hi, Pete.
Yeah. Back then, though, it was just the bodybuilding, men
Yeah.
and women. And it was like
Yes.
a day
Right.
and a half.
Now it's this whole enterprise.
And now it is a week-long extravaganza
a good
that
word,
includes everything from 5Ks to bench press
Strongman,
competitions.
yeah,
to-
arm wrestling,
Yep.
the cage
Cheerleading,
things. Yeah,
karate.
it is. There's a lot going on there.
It is.
Arm wrestling?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how much money that draws into Columbus, but it is a huge ticket
Yeah.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
compared to
Lincoln-
what it once was.
Lincoln bought the 3-day pass
Okay.
for this year for Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Got it.
And he brought home the norovirus for all of us Friday. So he couldn't even
Not a
go
very good
Saturday or
prize.
Sunday. He was really bummed.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
So
So if
he
anybody
hung
from
with
the
that on
Arnold
Friday?
listens, we would love a comp ticket for next year.
Hey. Well, yeah, we got to draw somebody into their. Well, that's a great idea. We'll put that on the list. We got a list of people that don't know they're going to be on yet, but they are.
That would be super fun.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. And so may go back to compete, may not. You're right, though. That especially as a female and
Right.
time going by and
Yeah.
And I know most people think of bodybuilding as being physical, but you used it as a coping mechanism,
I did.
didn't you? And so
It was
a lot
therapy.
of this is emotional and mental.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very much.
And
It-
not just the discipline part.
No, but it gave you something to focus on other than the I don't want to say darkness that you might be going through
Yeah.
after a deployment or whatever, because I honestly didn't have it bad on deployment.
Yeah.
Like we had a pool, we had a
Right.
movie theater, you know,
Yeah.
like I taught Army combatives while I was there. I was a level 2 instructor at the time. That's how I met my husband. And then, so I didn't have it bad there. It was transitioning home
Yes.
with the family,
Right.
if that makes sense. I don't want to I don't want to sound like something happened on deployment. Nothing happened on deployment.
No.
But getting back into the swing of things. So it kind of gave me this whole plan to follow. And when you're following a plan, everything else kind of just falls into place because you're focused on XYZ. And then, oh, okay, well, let's do this. And the kids are eating dinner and they started wanting what I was cooking up for my meals. So kind of got into good nutrition with them. You know, I mean, they loved it.
So if they were like 4 when you got back, for Lincoln was 4. And so
Yeah.
all this time for the past 13 years, you guys have been living that lifestyle.
Yeah, our whole gym, or a whole basement is a gym.
That is so interesting. And your husband too?
He doesn't compete,
Okay.
but he definitely stays on his fitness journey. He was in the Navy till 2018 as a Navy EOD chief.
Army girl, Navy boy.
That's right.
Shut up! I didn't know that was allowed.
Met him in Kuwait on a combatives mat. I rolled him like a booger, and he fell in love. So
We got to get some photos of Stump and like action photos of that. We'll run those.
yeah, he was stationed in San Diego, and then he ended up getting out in 18. And came back. Well, we got married in 16.
Okay.
And so he was still living in San Diego
wow.
and doing EOD deployments, things like that. And so when he got out, he moved back here to Ohio.
Yeah.
And now he just does a lot of overseas contract work. So yeah, he's
So
going
he's
now.
still traveling.
A lot. Yeah.
What do you still do stuff with? You're completely retired, so you don't have anything to do with the military?
I do not. Nope.
Okay.
Other than just keeping up with my old buddies.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, that I'm sure that's
From around
really
the world,
fun.
probably.
A lot are local. There are a few in different states still, but yeah, I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I miss it. I miss them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a tight unit, isn't it?
For sure. They were family for so many years.
Yeah, and you guys count on each other for everything.
I mean, you're there for weddings, divorces,
Yeah.
births, birthdays.
Yeah.
I mean, you're there for all of it with
Yeah.
them.
so neat. Okay, so from your very first cigar that your
Yeah.
dad gave you when you were 17
Yeah.
to now,
Right.
with, I mean, this is your thing.
It is.
Yes.
love
So tell us about the name of it, how the name came to be,
Yeah.
and all the fun things that have
So, yeah.
gone
So
along.
had my first cigar at 17. I was always the one that had cigars while we were on, like if we had field training for a couple weeks, like the guys always knew to find me. 'Cause I
Megan's
always
got
had
the
my
cigars.
my little travel humidor. I always had all these cigars, we'd sit around and smoke at the end of the night. You know, we couldn't drink anything when we were out there. So let's have a couple cigars. But yeah, so tried the corporate America thing. And one night, my cousin Patrick called me, Patrick Beckel, and he said, "What are you doing?" And I'm literally like phone to the ear. I'm like, "I'm making dinner." He's like, "No, what are you doing for work right now?" And I told him I was an HR director at a drug and alcohol rehab center in Springfield. And he's like, "Do you like it?" And I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
You know, I loved the job. I loved what I was doing, but the corporate side of things, you were so handcuffed to do really anything that you needed to do for the facility. And he's like, "Do you want to open a humidor with me?" And I'm like, "What? Do you want to open a humidor with me?" I'm like, "Pat, what are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "I've got this building in Centerville. We can be open by April 1st. Mind you, this is February.
Oh, wow.
This is the middle of February. Because I know it was
which
right
year?
around 2021.
Okay.
This was right around Valentine's Day. That's what
Okay.
I remember. And he's like, "I've got this building. I don't know what to do with it. And I really want to put a humidor in there." And he's like, "I've already got guys building the actual humidors themselves, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "I'm thinking, who can I have run it?" Because Patrick is an insurance broker by trade.
Okay.
So, and his office is 100 yards from our building.
Oh my gosh.
Beckel's Humidor, right downtown Centerville, 33 West Franklin. I should say uptown Centerville. My apologies, Centerville. We are now uptown Centerville.
Uptown Centerville.
Always warm and cheerful Centerville, I believe is their slogan. But yeah, so he's like 100 yards away, Beckel's Insurance.
Okay.
So now we have Beckel's Humidor. And I said, "Pat, you've been thinking about this for a while."
I was going to say, this is not.
He goes, "Actually, no." I said, "What?"
Really?
He said, "I purchased this building for a friend of mine who was already renting it out. And it was a dress shop.
Yep, I remember.
And his buddy was renting the shop. The person who owned the building was selling it. He wasn't in a place to buy it. And Pat, being, you know, the heart of Centerville, is an organization in uptown Centerville, all small business owners, everything.
Yep.
They take care of each other. And Pat said, "I tell you what, I'll buy the building.
Yeah.
You rent it for a year or so, and we'll see where you're at if you can buy the building at that time." Great. It was about, from the story that I heard, it was literally like the ink wasn't even dry on the paperwork when the dress shop owner was like, "Hey, Pat, I think we're going to do a leap of faith. We're going to move our business up north." And Pat's like, "Oh." So he literally had a building with nothing in it.
Right.
And this whole thing just came together. I mean, we went from 0 to hero in about 40 days.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
I got
Wow.
a million questions about all this.
Yes, go.
Well, no, I'll let it kind of unfold. But like, just contact. Just here's the brands. Here's what we know. Your cigar knowledge. Let's say 10 is, I know everything from seed to wrapper to shade to whatever, and then 1 is, I just like to smoke cigars, but I don't really know much about them. Where are you?
So
10
when we
being-
started, I was definitely a 0. Like, I knew exactly what I liked.
Yep.
Didn't know much about cigars at all. And we literally have Forrest Gumped our way through this process for now almost 4 years, because we're having our 4th anniversary on Saturday. April 1st is our 4th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
And like an April Fool's
Note
joke.
to self.
Yes,
We opened a humidor on April Fool's.
It's worked out well.
Finding the brands and the reps for these brands, and sometimes you have to go direct with the families, so you have to be vetted by these families like Fuente and Padron. Like, you have to be vetted
That is
by the family.
very cool.
Like, they send somebody to your shop to take photos and to talk to you and to see who else is
sure
around
you're legit?
you. Yes.
Oh, wow.
See if you're good enough to have their product
Well, I
in
was
your
going to
store.
say, you don't want to just drop your family
Yeah.
name everywhere.
Yeah,
You want
you're
it
not
be
going to
the right
find a
place.
Fuente
Yeah.
in also a vape shop. You know,
Yeah,
you're not
okay,
going to
yes.
find. So
Yeah, I'm sure they have to be extra careful these
I
days.
did a lot of research on, believe it or not, LinkedIn.
Okay.
I would look
a
up
good
the
idea.
cigar brand and see all the people that would pop up for it. And if they had like representative or logistics, whatever they were for that company, and I would send them a message like, hey, I am looking for the rep in the Centerville, Ohio area. Can you point me in the right direction? And I found a lot of people on LinkedIn, a lot.
Good to know.
Yeah. And we had, there was another local cigar shop. Well, they're down in West Carrollton. They gave me a few reps that they use. And so, but what we've done is we've actually paid it forward because there's another shop that has opened up in downtown Dayton, West Side. And I literally had an Excel spreadsheet for him. I'm like, here.
So the community
That is
kind of looks
so
out for one
nice.
They
another.
really do.
Yeah.
The cigar
Nice.
community, you know, there is enough smokers in this Dayton area for all of our cigar shops
Not
that
even
we
a
have.
competing thing.
It's
just
not.
a fellowship and letting me
Yeah.
help
So
you out.
like there's a place up in Huber called Stogie's.
Okay.
And Robbie is the owner of Stogie's. And he's, I believe, prior Air Force guy, then another Huber Heights detective or SWAT. Like he was really big in the police
Yeah.
for Huber Heights. But he'll load his regulars into his party bus
Okay.
in Huber. And he'll drive them to our shop on a nice summer day. So we're all sitting on the patio. Robbie's brought all these guys in,
Oh my
and they'll spend an hour, and then they go to another cigar lounge. And so Robbie is a really good conduit for all of us. He's a really big cheerleader. Yeah, so he's great.
And you guys do
What
that,
a fun
Cram.
idea.
Yeah.
that big old deck patio space on
Yeah.
a nice summer night.
It's perfect.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, because I think you came and it was cold.
Yeah. I haven't been on the patio. I've only been in the building.
Yeah, we just had full spring, so we had some time out there. And so it looks like we might get some more time here soon.
Yeah. Is it not open all the time? Do you guys have heaters out there?
We don't yet.
Yeah.
So, big picture plan is if you know the building or don't know the building, our main entrance is off the back patio, the back deck. And then our members lounge is
Yeah.
upstairs.
Okay.
And we're wanting to put a second story deck off that for the members. And if we
Very
do that,
cool.
then we can put in heaters and fans and get more use out
All
of
the
that
above.
first floor deck. Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back.
Sorry.
So Patrick has called you.
Yes.
And you guys, he's like, you want to do this?
Yeah.
And so what was the trigger for you that said, okay, yeah, I'm in?
Yeah, I was just frustrated with my current job, and I like it being my second job after retiring. I'm like, I'm never gonna find my footing
Yeah.
in this environment. So turned in my 30-day notice and
Yeah.
took a leap of faith. You know, I wasn't with my retirement and my benefits and this and that and the other. I'm fortunate enough that I don't really have to work. I don't.
Yeah.
Money's money, right?
Yeah.
Like it's nice to always have more of it,
Right.
But I didn't need that job,
Right.
you know? And so I took more than a 50% pay cut to open the shop. But again, it wasn't about the money. It was
Right.
it was about
Right.
and it's all paid off. It's the culture we have created. It is the friendships that have developed. It's the people that have met there and are now married. You know, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you've been there and you were there on a pretty decent night. I'm sure you could hear the camaraderie and the laughs, and it's like
As soon
Cheers.
as you walk in. As soon
Yeah.
as you
Like
walk
Cheers.
in.
Yeah.
It is. It's like Cheers,
one of
but
our
in the
favorites.
cigar world.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I love it. I treat it like an orderly room. You got to have thick skin in there.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
And so when you say
Conversation
orderly
can
room,
go a
you're
lot of
talking
directions.
about
Military,
comparing
yeah.
to the military. And I wondered about that.
Yeah.
I wondered how your skills from the military have kind of transferred to this situation with your regulars. And
Yeah.
it can get kind of rowdy in there.
It definitely gets rowdy. It gets raunchy. But everybody is just, if they're not picking on you, they
Yeah.
don't like you.
Oh, so if they're leaving you alone,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
One
they
of
don't
the
like
days
you.
that I was in there was the day of the Army-Navy football game.
Oh, that's right.
And they didn't pick on me.
yeah.
No.
You just
But once I knew I wasn't military, nobody paid any attention anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, what are you doing here?
Yeah. I think I spent the day upstairs for that game because my daughter was with me. So we went up to the members lounge because there wasn't
yeah.
not a whole lot of smoke up
Yep.
there. And it's a private lounge. So she can be up there with
Yeah.
me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She's not buying cigars. So,
Yeah.
But we watched the game and I remember yelling at everybody downstairs because my husband was deployed at the time, Navy guy.
Yeah.
And so they're all rooting for Navy because Dennis is gone. And I'm upstairs with my daughter. We've got our Army jerseys on, and we're just,
So they
I'm
were,
like,
remember the
shut
outcome.
up.
rooting for-
Who ended up winning?
I think Navy won.
Is that right? I didn't stay.
But we've won the last 4 years in a row, and then Navy won.
So they
Keeps
did.
it interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Like
kind
the
of like
Ohio
Michigan, Ohio
Michigan
State.
thing. Yeah. Every now and again,
Yeah.
you got to give one away. Keeps it interesting. How, and I don't want to knock on anybody, so I have to ask this question, but working with the city of Centerville to put in a humidor was
They welcomed us with open arms.
nice.
Patrick did a lot of that behind the scenes because he was a president of the Heart of Centerville.
Yep.
He had a lot of Centerville city
Support.
employees. Yes, the mayor was at our ribbon cutting ceremony.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
You know, the city manager, you know, he comes in from time to time to have a smoke and relax on the patio. And because of where we are, you know, we're right in the center of town. I don't know if you're familiar with Centerville.
Yeah.
But like where Agave and Rye is now, it used to be Panera.
Right.
Yep.
You know, you come around that corner, is it Square One, the salon? We are right there. I mean, and so much has gone in since we opened.
Yeah.
The Agave is new. There's a place
Manna.
across the street called Meridian. And
yeah.
it's
We've
where
not been there.
Sweeney's used to be.
Yep.
Yep.
You have to go in
Is
there.
it amazing?
Yeah, follow them on Instagram.
Okay.
They always have like live music or other things going on.
Yeah.
And right next door to us now is a brand new spot called Felicity. And they are a all natural, like wines, champagnes, and coffee bar.
That used to be like a women's consignment shop.
No, that's Lorelai's. She's still there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Aisle 9 Tattoo. And they moved further down into Washington Township
Oh, interesting.
because they needed a bigger building.
Yes.
Well, Earl and Megan, they now have this Felicity, and they're usually open Fridays and Saturday nights.
Okay.
And they've got craft beers, local beers. They have small bites that they'll make up, and it's all, I mean, all fresh.
And it's
all
right next door to you
organic.
guys?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I love it. If I find them open or if I see Earl's truck out there, I am running over like, can I get a latte and a kombucha, please? And he's like, I got you. And I'm like, okay, thanks.
That's what neighbors do.
Yeah.
Yes, that
So,
sounds incredible. So, as a woman in a male-dominated arena, I mean,
Yeah.
and that's what it
It's
has
male
been.
dominated.
Because it
Well,
is.
it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And also
Yeah.
in the military,
Yeah.
like what's been your secret weapon as far as kind of making things work out for you the way they have?
That's a good question. I honestly, the military, I believe, helped me stand my ground.
Yeah.
Know my role.
Yeah.
But stand your ground.
Yeah.
Right. I am 5'0", right? You know, so
High five, girl.
you have to. But when you wear a certain rank, you know, and I was a senior enlisted. I was an E7, promotable, no big deal.
But kind of.
Yeah, but kind of a big deal. Yeah, so, but you have to get big in your own way. So, and a lot of guys at the shop, you'll hear them like, you don't hold anything back, or you don't beat around the bush. You're very direct. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, in the military, there wasn't time to be like, so
Yeah.
how was the episode of Friends last night? No, it's like, hey, I needed that report like yesterday, or I need this, I need that, so I can give you what you need. You know, it was, you know, everything is
Yeah.
just very transparent
Get her
and very,
done.
get her done. Like, what do you need? Let me get it done. I got you.
Yep.
So the shop is the same way. I mean, it's funny. It's like you have to have the right spouse that understands that you're going to be around dudes all day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah, because
true.
not every spouse is going to be
Confident.
right. Not every spouse is going to be like, oh, so you talked with Todd all day? Yeah, I did. And I sent him all these reels. Do you want to see them? We were sitting right across from each other. You know, so you have to have that person. You have to have that one that understands that.
Yeah.
And so it allows me to still have these special friendships at work that are imperative to a small business, especially a cigar lounge, because it's not like it's not like you're there. Like it's not fast food. You're not in and out. And some people are, if they
Sometimes
do a
it's
grab and go, but
Yeah.
it's still a process.
100%.
Talking to them, like,
Yeah.
where's your palate? What do you like? Let's find you what you need. Going back to your question, when we started, I was absolute zero. I knew what I liked. Now, just from Forrest Gumping our way through this and lots of YouTube and a couple of good books, I'm really pretty good at getting the cigar that person is looking for, if they know what they're looking for. If they don't, I always point them to a simple Connecticut that's going to be nice and easy to smoke, nice and light, that type of thing.
Can't go wrong
But
with
I've
it kind of
learned
thing.
that along the way.
Yeah.
So, sorry to wrap that book up. But as far as the relationships go at the shop, it's funny. They tell me all the time they're afraid of me. Like, you'll kick my ass. And I'm like, I just might.
You could. Yes.
I'd rather not.
I just
so let's
might.
toe the line.
Yeah. So need you to, but it's funny, some of these guys have been to my house for my kids' birthday parties.
Yeah.
I'm inviting a lot of them to my son's graduation party because they all know him
Yeah.
through speaking about him. And he has stopped by a few times for when he was out for prom, he had to stop by so we could see him,
Yes. Pictures and whatnot. Yeah.
So, I mean, things like that, it's like they are another family. And we've been to funerals for some of these people that have lost a parent or a loved one. It's, we show up for them and they show up for us. And it truly is just
High percentage of veterans coming and going, am I right?
not only veterans, but even more so firefighters and police officers.
wow.
Responders.
So we have created this, we bought this patch thing. It's probably about the size of that, maybe a little smaller. And it's for guys to put their patches up. Like their name and rank and
my
their
gosh.
affiliation.
Wow.
And I had like a lot of my Army guys have come by, like my old first sergeant put his stuff up and it's all up there. But the whole left side of it has become firefighters, their locations and like who they're Washington Township and Beaver Creek. And, I have Springfield firefighters that drive all the way down there every once in a while. Yeah. So it's really cool,
I love that.
It's neat and people just love to be there. They spend hours there. Like it's nothing for some of my regulars to show up at 2. There's one guy, if he's not there by 2:00, he'll either text me like, hey, I'm running late.
Yeah.
He doesn't work there.
He doesn't want you to worry about him.
Or
What's his name? We can say hi.
yeah,
Norm.
it's Todd. Yeah. It's Todd.
Todd.
Yeah. And then there's I have another older guy that comes in. His name is Mike. And I mean he's in his 70s. Prior Coast Guard guy.
Wow.
Didn't age very well, had it pretty rough, you know. But he comes in, and he's usually the first one there, and he just shuffles on in. He's like, hey girl. I'm like, hey Mike. And then he always has to say hi to the dog. I haven't even mentioned my dog.
Oh,
That's in the
yeah.
shop
She was
yet.
on my list next.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and people bring him treats,
that
like
right?
gourmet cookies
Yeah.
that are made by this place by Dorothy Lane Market. Like our state rep is a member there, and he brings him in these.
He's a big old bully, right?
He's an old English bulldog.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
He's an old English. So
And he
had
comes
on
to
his
work
Army
with you.
jersey
He's,
the day we were
he
there.
did.
so he's a shop dog.
That's what his tag says.
Shop dog?
Yeah. He wears this little harness that's made specifically for bulldogs because they're so barrel chested. You can't find anything to fit him.
Right.
And so he's got a couple hoodies that he wears, and he's got an Ohio State t-shirt. He's got a Browns jersey.
Yeah.
This is going to be our year. I'm just going to put it out there. All the positiveness.
From your lips to God's
Yeah.
ears.
He listens. He does. But he's great. His name's Winston. He's a rescue. Found him in a shelter in Indiana. His backstory, he was transferred there from Louisiana after the flooding in 21. I guess there was some horrible flooding in 21.
Yeah.
So his shelter that he was in, I believe the home he was in, I think that's why he was surrendered, was completely flooded. So the place in Indiana drove down, got 10 other dogs. He was one of them.
Oh, wow.
I didn't think we were going to get picked. And 3 weeks later, they called and said, do you still want this dog? I'm like, yeah, I wasn't even on your website. I thought he was taken. And they're like, no, we had to do his eye surgery and we had to get him neutered. And I said, I'll be there tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Went on a Tuesday with my my husband was driving, my daughter's in the back seat, and then my Great Dane and my German Shepherd are in the backpack
Oh, my
of this
gosh.
SUV, right? A smaller SUV. They're in the back. because I had to take them to meet him, or
Yes.
they wouldn't let us take him.
Yes.
Got it.
Yep.
So we drive
Makes
to
sense.
Richmond, pull all dogs out. My Dane's 160 pounds, right? My Shepherd's about 70. And we see Winston.
Oh.
And he runs to me and just wraps his little paws.
Oh, I'm
and I'm
gonna
like,
cry.
oh, he's going home.
Yeah.
Like so we did. We put the other two in the back.
Yeah.
I put
Did
my
the
daughter
other
up
dogs
They all
like him
got
too?
along?
Yeah.
Daughter rode up front, my husband drove, and I'm in the back seat with this 70-pound bulldog, just like laid out.
Oh, it's
So-
so,
He knew he was going home.
blissfully happy.
Picked him up on a Tuesday, took him into the shop on a Wednesday, and he's been there with me every day since.
That's amazing,
Yeah.
Megan. Oh, I love that.
wild.
That was 20. That was 22. Sorry.
Okay.
That was March of 22, May 22.
How many kinds of cigars do you have?
That's wow, a lot.
Yeah.
Because we keep adding. Every time I'll find a brand that's hot for a little while,
Yeah.
and then people aren't buying it, right? So it's like, okay, we need to give this shelf space to something else, And my customers, my regulars, are the ones that drive me to fill that spot. I'm
Okay.
like, what do you guys want to see? What do we
Yeah.
not have that you want? What do
Yeah.
you this? What do you that?
Smart.
And we bring it in because if they're gonna buy it, I'm gonna carry it.
Right.
So we have. I'm trying to think in my head. 6. We probably have 20 to 25 different brands.
Okay.
And each brand has
Probably
half a dozen.
4 or 5 different facings, they call
Right.
it,
Okay.
a different cigar in that company.
Yeah.
If not more, some of them are, 12 different facings or whatever. Because we're not the biggest shop.
Yeah.
You can ask Terry.
It's just the right size.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's
It's
very
just right.
quaint. So we had to be really selective. I had to be really selective on who I brought in because I needed to make sure they sold.
Yeah, absolutely. So when people, as somebody who's never been to your shop yet, what is it like? People walk in, they can purchase a cigar there, they can smoke the cigar there. Do you have any drinks, or how does that whole thing work?
That was going to be my thing.
Yeah.
Well, because I know you're not selling food or drink,
We do not.
but there is. I've never been in there when there wasn't food and or drink.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
how's that work?
So we the main floor is open to the public.
Okay.
Oh, the main floor is open to the public. So anybody can come in, sit, smoke, have a drink, and if there's food out, they can have a little bit of food.
Okay.
I love to eat, so I always have like snacks, especially Army Navy game. We'll have
Yes.
something special
Oh,
for
gotcha.
that. So the drink process, we do not have a liquor license,
Okay.
nor are we probably ever getting one. After what we've seen this model, what it's created, I would never get a liquor
I was going to
license.
say, I think it'd be shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah. So what it is it's all donated. It's BYOB.
Okay.
And then we have a big cabinet in the main lounge.
Yes.
And it's like an old armoire. And it has become our liquor cabinet.
Oh, wow.
So guys will come in, with a bottle of whatever,
Yeah.
small, big, whatever. They'll have a few pours with them and their friends. And then they donate the rest of the bottle to the liquor cabinet because they're not going to drive home with
Right.
an open
Open
one
one,
that's
right.
half full, or
Yeah.
3/4 of the way full. They're just not.
Also gives them a reason to maybe come back.
Yeah. So the liquor cabinet is usually pretty full of some good stuff. I mean, good stuff. But you just never know what's going to be in there. So
Yeah.
I do tell people when they call and they ask, is it BYOB? I'm like, it is. If you want something specific, I would 100% bring in what you want.
Yeah.
But I do have some items here. I just don't know if they'll be here when you get here.
For sure.
Yeah. And then the fridge is full of waters, sodas, beers, that type of thing. So again, all donated.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And so then do you have glassware there?
I
or do you
have-
have people bring their own?
So I have the small party, 9-ounce
Okay.
cups for
Yeah.
everybody. Right now they're still
Yeah.
St. Patty's Day themed
Yeah.
because we had our big shindig.
Right.
And the glassware stays upstairs for the
Okay.
members lounge. So,
Okay, so
members
that's the
have
difference.
all the glassware. But it's a do-it-yourself club. So these members, they're washing their own dishes and
Okay.
getting them on the drying rack, if nothing else, and then I'll put them away
Yeah.
the next day. So, but yeah, our members have 24/7 access up there.
Oh,
They get their
wow.
own code to come in the front door
Okay.
of the building where they can only go up to the lounge.
So the building used to be a house.
It was.
Just for a frame of reference.
Yeah.
Like you're not walking into a big box Walmart store. This is not that. it used to be a home.
Yes.
Somewhere along the line. And
Correct.
then, so if you go upstairs in the house, there's a kitchen up there.
Yes, full
There's
kitchen.
a boardroom,
Yep.
nice, what used to probably be a dining area.
Right.
And then
We have a game room now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's like a poker table, some dartboards. There's an Atari that actually works.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. Pong?
Yeah, it's all on there.
Wow.
leather couches.
Yes, leather chairs. All the chairs recline. Even the ones downstairs you guys
It's a
were
great
in.
workspace.
Yeah.
I'm
Going
sure there are
right there.
guys up there that
A lot of my
get
members
work done.
are remote, like work from home people.
Right.
Yeah.
They are there more than I am. Like I get there in the morning and one of my guys is upstairs working already. And as soon as Winston comes in the door, he takes a right and goes upstairs to find Kenny. And
Yeah.
they're besties, man.
And you can roll some putts up there. The last time I was there.
Yep. Drive a little putting green room.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
Locker,
pretty cool.
If I wanted to
Lockers.
keep my bottle private, or if I wanted to keep my own cigars there.
Correct. And I keep humidifiers in the bottom of those lockers so they filter through.
What do you do for purification, air purification?
Yeah. So when we opened, it was right at the beginning of the tail end of COVID. So
Yes.
we had to put in this purifier
Oh, gotcha.
thingamajig.
Just
And it
from
was
that,
like
because of
COVID
that.
certified.
Yeah.
And so it does something with the air like every 6 seconds or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it was
Yes.
all done before I
high tech.
stepped in the building. And then downstairs we have a lot of like air filters and
like air
purifiers
doctors.
almost in each room. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
it helps. I mean, it's
For sure.
You get 20 people in there smoking, it's going to
It's
be
gonna
smoky.
smoke.
It's going to
Yeah.
be smoky. Yeah.
Yeah, but real smokers, they don't really care. You know,
It's part of part of the thing, right?
yeah. But we keep a lid on it pretty much with those purifiers.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing about the main lounge, where all the TVs and stuff are downstairs, it has such high ceilings that
Yeah.
really saves us quite a bit. But we're getting ready to put in some exhaust fans in there too. So we're always trying to make it better. So
Oh, it's very cool. What an adventure for you.
It's been fun.
right. And so you're happy doing this now, and you have
Yeah,
big
oh, yeah.
ideas for things that will kind of expand it, like you were talking about with the decks upstairs.
For sure. Yeah. We always want to make it better for everybody. What's going to make people more comfortable? What's going to make people want to, stay or bring their friends in or have an event? Like we've had a lot of events there.
Neat.
Yeah. I mean,
We need to talk to Patrick about maybe opening a North store.
a North store.
Like
Up here.
Fairborn.
We've talked about possibly doing one in Springfield.
Oh, is that right?
Because we both grew up there. So, but that might be a few years from now.
Okay.
But, yeah.
And so the shop is actually named after him, after Patrick?
It's
or is it
also
family?
my maiden name.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Beckel's Humidor. It's
Okay.
Pat's last name, my maiden name.
Your maiden name?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, so is your dad still living
Yeah. He's down in Southeast Ohio.
in Southeast Ohio? So he must think it's
Which
pretty
part?
cool.
Adams County.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up in Ross County, so we're not far away.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that by Pike Lake?
Not far. Spend a lot of summer Saturdays at
We
Pike
go
Lake.
there every year.
Do you really?
We have for my mom is 60 years. My family has been going down there
my
every
gosh.
Memorial Day weekend. We always get the big lodge.
Yep. Oh
So-
my heck. Yeah, I haven't been in there for a long time. But yeah, I grew up in Chillicothe. We went to Pike Lake
Yeah.
on the regular.
We had a couple years where the lake was empty, so we had it listed, labeled as Pike Empty on our
Okay.
on our Facebook albums. There was no water for 2 years. They were working on the spillway or something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
Pike Empty. Yeah.
Big Pike,
Pike
hole in the
empty.
ground.
Yeah, we love that place. We've already got the countdown for this year.
That's great.
That's great. So how do people find you, and how do they become members if they want, or if they want to just come check
Yep.
it out? Do you give tours?
I do.
Okay.
We are, like I said, we're right in the middle of the heart of Centerville. But you can find us on Instagram, Beckel's Humidor. Facebook, I believe, is Beckel's Humidor and Aficionado, I think it is.
Okay.
Maybe a little underscore.
Okay. On Facebook.
Yeah, and we're on Google Maps, and it's all been updated. The locations there, you can get directions from there. I believe you can even find it on Siri. I'm probably gonna wake them up. Sorry, but wake up everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't catch
Yeah,
that.
I know.
So find you on socials, and then they can contact you that way to come down and
Directly,
check
yes.
it out.
The links
Okay.
on the
Yeah. Yep.
screen.
Yeah,
That'd be
they'll all be in
great.
the show notes, and
Yeah.
so they can find you that way.
And then members, they fill out an application. It just gives us some background information, and of course, it gives us like an emergency contact and I don't know, our attorneys looked it all over and said we had to have XYZ on there. So we do.
Sure.
And then it's just an annual fee
Okay.
for them. And then we also have corporate memberships, which involves 4 people. Okay. So it's a little bit more expensive than the individual, but not as expensive as 4 people's individual.
Got it.
So as with that, you get that 24/7 access. You get a locker.
Right.
It includes a spouse. So, if, your buddy's friend and his wife wanted to go up, they just pop on up. I mean,
That's amazing.
yeah, have dinner at Mana and go have a cigar.
That's a delicious place. So do you have people, if they want food, do they Uber it in, or do you actually usually have food out all the time?
Weekends, if I'm there on a Saturday, like I said, I love to eat. So I will usually be ordering some pizzas or some food to share, whatever.
Got it.
And we always have a reason to order food for everybody. And honest to God, like, oh, it's NCAA, let's get some food. But I've really been, since Felicity opened, I've really been encouraging people to go next door and get a little charcuterie board or, yes, guys like those too.
100%.
Yeah.
Guys do,
Yeah.
little
But
nibbles.
he'll make like different sandwiches, and there's always some really good baked goods over there. But
I can't wait
yeah,
to
you can
check that out,
DoorDash
too.
anything to the shop for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
Super
Yeah.
exciting.
So yeah, that gives us a reason. I'll go have charcuterie. You can come in and test out a cigar.
Yeah.
Oh, right. And you
Not
reverse.
really.
You can get
Reverse
you
for
can get
reverse.
the wine from next door and just bring it over.
Yeah. So fun.
But Saturday, you got something coming up. This won't post
No.
until after that. But what's coming up? This
That's
Saturday?
okay. This Saturday, what is it? The
it's
28th,
your anniversary.
29th, whatever this Saturday is.
the 4-year anniversary.
We are doing our 4-year anniversary. Yeah. So this probably won't post until after, but April 1st is our 4th anniversary, and I can't believe we have made it. I mean, owning a small business is not for the weak. It is.
Nope.
Sure.
You are a content creator. You are a social media, whatever. You're an event coordinator. It is not for the weak.
Well, and in your world, you can't advertise.
We cannot.
You cannot
Tobacco.
advertise tobacco products.
I cannot. No, I got put in Facebook jail when we first opened.
no.
Yeah. So every Wednesday, here's, regardless of when this might air, every Wednesday we do a happy hour at the Humidor.
Okay.
And it's all about networking and bringing businesses together or people together.
Okay.
Anybody new to Centerville, a lot of times on the Centerville Homes and Neighbors page or whatever, a lot of people will say, oh, I'm brand new to Centerville. And where can I go to this and that? Come to Beckel's on Wednesday.
Yeah.
You're going to meet all sorts of good people.
Right.
Yes.
And people looking to hire and people looking for jobs. And we've
my
had
gosh,
people
that's so
find jobs.
interesting. Yeah.
And employers find employees by showing up to happy hour.
Oh, Megan, that's very cool.
Yeah. I mean, so it's all about just let's get people connected. So every Wednesday is happy hour. And it starts about 3, goes to 7 when we close. But
So what do you put on your socials if they put you in jail?
so I had to do like this 40-minute PowerPoint thing on Facebook. So I didn't know. So this is what got me put in jail and led me to the happy hour content. I boosted a post on Facebook
Okay.
where you can pay like $1,
Yes.
$2, whatever
Right.
it is you want to pay to get the word out to a certain demographic or a certain geographic area. And I'm like, cool, I'll just do,
Yeah.
a 15-mile radius from the shop. Let's click that. Like, cool, happy hour, fine cigars, cold drinks, meet some kick-ass people, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. 'Cause that's how I talk. But so I'm like, boost. Like, sweet. And like 10 minutes later, I get this notification, like, you can't boost that. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get this whole thing.
There's a billion chunks of trash you can post
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Facebook, but not that.
How about that?
Yeah.
I'm telling
How about
you,
that?
Don't get me started.
So it took me like 30 days
Wow.
to get out of Facebook jail. So I was still allowed to post things.
Yeah.
I just wasn't allowed to boost anything else because I was still representing a supplement company at the time. And when they would have sales,
Right.
me personally, I would boost those ads with my
Right.
little code. So I got credit, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't even do that for like 30 days. I had to finally, they sent me this PowerPoint presentation on the business page. So Facebook has, individual, like this is your page, but under my page is also our business side
Yes.
of it.
So anything you were connected to got squelched for a month.
Yes.
And I'd love to say I don't understand. Yeah. But I completely understand.
He gets in Facebook jail all the time. Not for posting about tobacco.
Shame on you.
Yeah, there's just things that apparently they don't like that I do like, and so it happens.
Even now that there's supposedly no
They don't
longer
want your
fact
politics.
checkers.
They don't want your.
Oh,
you
no,
know,
they don't.
wah, wah. So at any rate, this is the purpose of this exercise, though, is to promote people who, and again, overlap. Like I'm not going to meet a million people, and I'm not going to join every organization, but by putting small business entrepreneurial people on our podcast, we get to overlap lots of people that we'll never meet. Yeah. So that was why I made the invitation.
Thank you so much, because we just got to stick together and we got to stick up for each other. And
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything
And live
else
our
you
big
want people
lives
to
in a
know?
small town.
Yeah.
Right?
I love your slogan.
What else should people know? Anything that we've left out?
Not that I can think of, but if you haven't been there, you know, they're missing out. Like it's a good time. It's relaxing. It's comfortable. Our slogan is welcome home as soon as you walk in the door. So, you just got to check it out.
Yeah. Yay.
So
Beauty.
well, thanks guys.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
thank you.
Giving up an evening. Whoa.
Yeah. And if you like what you've seen, like, subscribe, and follow, please.
Smash that like button.
That's right.
Smash it.
Thanks, friends. Bye.
See you next time.
So these, we have 2 different house lines in the shop. So
Okay.
Patrick has his.
Got it.
And I have mine.
Okay.
And I had 3, but the third one that's missing was everybody's favorite because it was called the Winston.
Oh.
And it was just a small little Connecticut, almost like a nub.
Yep.
You know, like
Yep.
the Oliva nub.
Yep.
Which was great because that's all he has is a tail, is this little nub. So Winston's are gone, but we have this one, which is called the Ma Deuce, because I was a 50 cal gunner on my first deployment, technically.
Wow.
So
what?
that the Ma Deuce, which is an M2, a 50 cal is an M2.
Got it.
Army calls it a Ma Deuce. Our nickname for it is Ma Deuce.
Got
So
it.
that's actually me on the
No way.
on the weapon. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a picture of me behind that weapon.
So who designs all your labels and stuff?
So Patrick got a hold of somebody and had them done, and I can't remember who did these. But this one is called the Naughty Body. Because it's my bodybuilding photo.
Oh my gosh, Megan, that is so great. I wish you guys could see. We'll put pictures.
That's about